Kani kadega Batesi TV, bat pidang pet yaki kubor baman kasni, balwan rasha pi da ka Orange Nissan, lom so po niya Fabricate Shillong, ringkat bat ka BDW International School Nongmansong, Langkarding Shillong. Admissions open now.
Myntri Rangbah ka Jylla korot ke sangma uba pej ru ikatnat Tyngka jong ka sorka Jylla haka khat khandai trek uluber arajar arpho ulawan ra ka Mang Tyngka ka bakot khat nyo hajar lais pa nyo pesan Klur Tyngka na ka bentau snam arajar arpho we bat ka Duna si hajar san spa lai pu ar Klur hapo ka dorbar Mang Tyngka jong ka ying dorbar thau an ka Jylla ka bala poi ru sya ka bakot minta kasngi kani ka Mang Tyngka ka ba Myntri Rangbah Wanrah hapo ka dorbar Mang Tyngka ban bha sakatnat puli puthi ka kot ka khya ka rap ka riang ka jingkan tiu ya ka sangkam sangjam ka jingok kai prathai ka jingkan tiu ka yok kot ha kinong kandong bat kiwe.
Item number 5, Sri Conrad Kisama, Chief Minister in charge Finance, to present the budget estimate for 2020 and 2021. Chief Minister, please. Andrew.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, I rise to present the budget for the financial year 2020-21. Sir, at the outset, I extend my warm greetings to the people of the state, and I would like to thank them for the mandate given to the Meghalaya Democratic Alliance government in 2018. Over the last 2 years, we have been steadfast in pursuing a pro-people sustainability-focused development agenda, with the ultimate objective of improving the well-being of every citizen of Meghalaya. This government has been able to make significant and visible progress on many development fronts in just 2 years. I am pleased to inform the House that we have reformed the delivery of key social programs. Under the Chief Minister's Social Assistance Program, over 1 lakh senior citizens and other pensioners are now receiving their pensions in the first week of every month, compared to a time lag of 6 to 12 months in the past. We are also deploying cutting-edge technology to drive improvements in maternal and child health. We have been able to mobilize sizable resources from the centrally sponsored schemes and externally aided projects of Government of India. Significantly, this government has been able to impress upon the 15th Finance Commission the need for enhancing our share of central transfers. Our efforts resulted in Meghalaya becoming one of the biggest gainers from the award of the Commission, which comes into effect from 2020-21. So the year 2020 marks the start of a new decade, and my government has a vision to make it the Meghalayan decade, a decade where the state realizes its full potential through sustainable deployment of its human, environmental, social and cultural resources, a decade where Meghalaya leads the way in innovation and governance, and a decade where the state emerges as a knowledge economy and caring society. Our goal is for Meghalaya to be amongst the top 10 Indian states in terms of per capita GDP and achievement of sustainable development goals by 2030. This target is not merely aspirational, but certainly achievable, and we have a clear strategy to achieve it. Our strategy revolves around prioritizing the 4 core pillars of human development: primary sector, infrastructure, and entrepreneurship. Improvement in governance and caring for the environment will be cross-cutting measures guiding our strategy. The operationalization of our strategy will require critical investment in all 3 focus areas. This budget provides the framework for those critical investments. An important underlying theme of this year's budget is the creation and upgradation of basic infrastructure at all levels, including schools, hospitals, roads, water supply, banking and administrative infrastructure. Overall peace, safety and security are prerequisites for development. I'm happy to inform you that the internal security situation during the year was peaceful. National days were observed in a befitting manner, and all socio-cultural and religious festivals were celebrated with traditional fervor and gaiety. The militancy situation in the state is completely under control. The state witnessed protests following the passage of the Citizen Amendment Act 2019 for the implementation of ILP. Responding to the sentiments of the people, on December 19, 2019, we passed a resolution to urge the Government of India to implement ILP in order to safeguard the interests of the people of the state. This is the first government to have passed such a resolution, which is now being examined by the central government. State finances. Meghalaya, like other special category states, is largely dependent on transfers from the center for meeting both its revenue requirements and for making capital investments. Our own resources, tax and non-tax, constitute only about 20% of the state's total revenue receipts. Against this background, we have prioritized improving our own tax and non-tax revenues. I am personally monitoring the revenue collection through periodic review meetings. For 2019-2020, the revenue collection by the tax department is expected to touch 1,632 crores, thus registering a growth rate of 12.4%. We have approved the state lottery rules in December 2019 for conducting both paper and online lottery, and the process for operating the lotteries is being finalized. Steps have been taken to increase excise revenue through reducing inefficiencies. Brands have been recategorized, and the ad valorem duties have been revised accordingly. A policy for prepayment of ad valorem duty has been introduced. Revenue enhancing measures continue to be implemented in the transport sector as well. The overall tax revenue, including goods and services tax, excise and motor vehicle taxes, will reach 2,000 crores for 2019-20. For the year 2020-21, we are putting in place a full system of data analytics to aid in increasing the efficiency of revenue collection. We have taken several measures for the improvement of non-tax revenues, given their higher elasticity. New improved mineral transport challans with multiple security features like holograms, fugitive ink, and QR codes have been introduced. In the current financial year, a combination of new transport challans with QR code and installation of CCTVs have been done by Forest Department at 2 check gates, Killing in Ribhoy and Bolaganj in East Khasi Hills. This intervention will be universalized in the next financial year so that revenue leakages are plugged. The ban on coal mining imposed by Honorable National Green Tribunal was lifted by the Honorable Supreme Court order of July 2019. In pursuance of that judgment, we started the process of authorizing landowners to grant prospective licenses and mining leases for extraction of all major minerals, including coal. In terms of Honorable Supreme Court orders, henceforth coal mining in the state is permitted in compliance with central legislations like MMDR Act, Environment Protection Act, 1986, etc. On minor minerals, the government has completed preparation of district survey reports for all the 11 districts. This will help mine owners obtain environmental clearances and mining leases under Meghalaya Minor Minerals Concession Rule 2016 for extraction of minor minerals in the state. All these steps will systemize the mineral extraction in the state and increase the non-tax revenues from the next financial year. The Honorable National Green Tribunal's approval for auction of 2 lakh metric tons out of the 32 lakh metric tons for extracted coal is a welcome development. Strict environmental norms will be followed during the auction and transportation of coal, and we expect to raise substantial revenues through the process. Given all this, I am confident that the revenue collection of the state would improve significantly in the next financial year. For 2020-21, I have estimated 2,377 crores and 690 crores for tax and non-tax revenue collection, respectively. So the biggest share of our revenue receipts is the tax devolution from the Union government. The size of this devolution is determined by the Finance Commission every 5 years. The 15th Finance Commission is mandated with recommending the devolution for the 5-year period, 2020-2025. My government was successful in convincing the Commission of the need to enhance the devolution to Meghalaya through presenting a clear development program for the next 5 years. I am happy to inform this August House that the Commission increased Meghalaya's share of the total divisible pool from the previous 0.642 to 0.765%. The total grants recommended for Meghalaya for the year 2020-2021 stand at 7,417 crores, of which 6,542 crores is the tax devolution, 491 is the revenue deficit grant, 182 crores and 88 crores are grants to rural and urban local bodies respectively, 66 crores is State Disaster Risk Management Fund, and 48 crores is grant for nutrition. Deviating from previous practices, the Commission submitted an interim report and made recommendations only for 1 year. This gives us an opportunity to engage with the Commission in the coming months to convince them to increase our allocation even further for the 4-year period between 2021 and 25. Given the increased tax devolution and the revenue enhancing measures that we put in place, I am able to increase the development budget from state's resources to 3,300 crores for 2021. Sir, this is a 45% increase over the previous financial years and the largest in the history of the state. I would like to highlight that the development budget from state's resources has never crossed 2,600 crores in the past 5 years. In addition to the state's resources, the development budget includes resources available through various schemes of the central government. Combining the state and the central resources, the total development budget for 2020-2021 is estimated at 8,616 crores. Backed by these resources, I will now present the government's plan and programs in various sectors. Number one, sir, prioritizing human development, which is education and health. So the fundamental goal of development is to enhance the richness of human life. And hence our focus on human development with education and health sector at the core. Early child education will be a key priority from the next financial year. The 5,896 Anganwadi centers of the state will be transformed into centers of joyful learning, thus laying a firm foundation for cognitive and social development of every child. This intervention is of particular importance to first-generation learners in rural areas and will enable their smooth transition to primary school. I am allocating 10 crores in 2020-2021 for the mission for promotion of early childhood education from state's resources. So there are 9,409 lower primary schools, 3,608 upper primary schools, 1,443 secondary, and 339 higher secondary schools in the state. We are concerned about the inadequate infrastructure and facilities at our government schools. Hence, starting from 2020-21, we will give a strong push for infrastructure upgradation. I am providing 40 crores from state's own resources to bridge the infrastructure gaps in 264 schools across the state. Efforts are also being made to initiate phase 2 of the Asian Development Bank assisted project supporting human capital development in Meghalaya, through which infrastructure upgradation will be prioritized. Further, 13 Eklavya model residential schools are being set up in different blocks of the state with the best infrastructure facilities with a capital cost of 312 crores through support from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. In higher education, we are setting up new professional colleges and are continuing our support for government and government-aided colleges. We have recently approved the proposal to set up People's College by converting 9 grant-in-aid and private colleges into community-managed institutions of higher education. The government has initiated the setting up of 3 new polytechnics in unserved districts of Ribhoi, West Khasi Hills, and South Karo Hills. So we live in a world where nearly everything is tech. Yet, when it comes to learning in the classroom, we have barely scratched the surface of what's possible with technology. This year, we started the implementation of Government of India's digital learning and teaching program called Diksha, under which energized textbooks for class 9 and 10 on mathematics and science have been developed. Additionally, a total of 117 smart classrooms have been constructed under the ADB-assisted projects. I am allocating an amount of 10 crores for state resources for the creation of 100 additional smart classrooms in the next financial year. In addition to these new initiatives, flagship programs in the education sector like Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, and midday meal will continue to be implemented. I am proposing a development allocation of 1,050 crores for the education sector in 2020-21. So the health sector continues to be of prime importance to the government. We have placed huge emphasis on maternal and child health, and I'm happy to inform the House that our efforts are showing results. Maternal mortality rate declined to 164 per lakh in 2018-19 from 197 per lakh in 2016-17. Institutional deliveries have gone up from 55% in 2016-17 to 58% in 2018-19. To continue with the momentum, we have launched an innovative technology and data-driven state-wide program called Meghalaya's Outcome-Oriented Transformation in Health, Education and Rural Development, or the MOTHER program. The pilot program in Southwest Karo Hills saw the institutional deliveries going up to 76% within a year. We have already registered 13,000 pregnant women from across the state on the Mother mobile app and are striving to achieve the goal of 100% institutional deliveries via this program. I am allocating 2.5 crores specifically for this program in 2020-21. Health insurance is essential to reduce out-of-pocket expenditure on healthcare. We are implementing the Mega Health Insurance Scheme Phase 4 in convergence with Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, and providing enhanced insurance coverage of up to 5 lakh per family with no restriction on family size and age. More than 15 lakh beneficiaries have already enrolled under the program, and more than 1 lakh individuals have availed benefits amounting to 74 crores. For 2020-21, the government plans to complete the construction of Bakmara Civil Hospital, special newborn unit at Ganesh Das Maternity and Child Hospital in Shillong, and upgradation of Makurwat Community Health Center to a 100-bedded hospital. The government is also focused on extension and completion of isolation ward at Tura Civil Hospital, construction of sub-center at Langpi, and commissioning of the cancer hospital at Shillong. I am also happy to inform you that we have recently got the sanction for an externally aided project in the health sector called the Meghalaya Health Systems Strengthening Project at an estimated cost of 352 crores. Sir, continuing the theme of infrastructure improvement, I am allocating an additional amount of 50 crores from the state's resources for health infrastructure development in rural areas, including construction of PHCs, CHCs, sub-centers, and for development of a comprehensive health MIS. The state development budget outlay for the health and family sector is 400 crores for 2020-21 compared to last year's 329 crores, an increase of 22%. The overall proposed development outlay is 724 crores. Primary sector, the mainstay of the state's economy. Sir, Meghalaya is predominantly agrarian, and more than 70% of its population is dependent on the primary sector for their livelihood. The sector contributes to about 24% of the GSDP. Various projects, initiatives, and missions have been launched over the past 2 years with the objective of increasing agricultural production and improving farmers' income. The year 2020 is declared as the year of the farmer. Under Myntri Kisan Samman Nidhi, an income support scheme launched by the Ministry of Agriculture, more than 75,000 farmers possessing land in the state are receiving income support assistance of up to 6,000 rupees during the current financial year. Under the state government's Lakadong mission, till date, 200 hectares has been covered, benefiting 1,223 farmers. Our objective is to increase the area for Lakadong turmeric to 6,070 hectares from the present 2,577 hectares. The state has been recently selected for making a turmeric export zone in West Jaintia Hills district. Meghalaya is the only northeastern state selected by the Government of India under the agriculture export policy. Another significant achievement for the state and the Lakadong farmers in particular is the conferment of Padmashree Award by the Government of India to Srimati Trinity Sayo from West Jaintia Hills in recognition of her contribution to the Lakadong turmeric farmers. Under the Mushroom Mission, an MOU was signed between YATS Corporation, a Japanese agricultural company, the government and Hills Farmer Union for the dissemination of shiitake mushroom cultivation technologies to farmers in the state. A team of our farmers has visited Japan for training. The jackfruit mission is also being implemented with a total project cost of 67 crores. In the current financial year, 10 crores was sanctioned for the implementation of the Lakadong and jackfruit mission by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. For the year 2020-2021, I am allocating 10 crores of our own resources for continued implementation of these three critical missions. Sir, plantation of aromatic crops provided a tremendous opportunity for our state. Given the availability of a large amount of cultivable wasteland and the ready market for aromatic oils, the Meg Aroma mission was launched in May 2019 with a proposed investment of 18 crores covering 1,000 hectares across the state. This mission will provide an alternate livelihood opportunity in quarrying and mining areas. In less than a year, we have already created 50 hectares of aromatic plantations of lemongrass and citronella. Further, 4 distillation units for processing of aromatic oils have been installed, 1 each in Rebhoi, East Jaintia Hills, West Khasi Hills, and Southwest Garo Hills. Given the huge potential of this mission, I am proposing a specific allocation of 5 crores for 2020-21, and we will expand the mission in all districts. In addition to the focused mission, we have set up a statutory institutional mechanism in the form of the Meghalaya Farmers Commission to systematically look into the issues faced by farmers in the state. Continuing our direct engagement with the farmers, the second edition of the Farmers' Parliament was organized at Tura and participation of about 1,000 farmers. Another significant milestone for our farmers is the approval of an externally aided project, Meghalaya Farmers Mobilization Project, with a cost of 512 crores over a 5-year period. Implementation of the project will begin from 2020-21. Sir, I believe that among the many challenges being faced by our farmers, lack of infrastructure for marketing of agriculture produce is a critical bottleneck. We will launch a new program for establishment of cluster-based farmer-owned, farmer-operated markets in all the districts for 2020-21. I am specifically earmarking 20 crores for this program. The food processing sector has immense potential in our state. The creation of a Directorate of Food Processing is showing results. We organized the first ever Northeast Food Show in collaboration with SIAL, Paris, in December 2019. A total of 24 crores business was generated, giving a fillip to the nascent entrepreneurial energy in the sector. The food show will now become a calendar event and place Meghalaya in the global food industry map. I am proposing a total allocation of 24 crores for the food processing sector for the year 2020-21. Apiculture sector is an important area for our state. To give a big thrust to the sector, an integrated beekeeping development center is being set up with a cost of 10 crores in North Garo Hills. The animal husbandry and dairy sector is also critical, and improving the infrastructure in this area is priority. Accordingly, a multi-species modern abattoir was commissioned in Shillong and under the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund of NABARD at a cost of 22 crores. The Meghalaya Milk Mission is being implemented with an investment of 220 crores from the National Cooperative Development Corporation. The capacity of the milk processing center at Central Dairy Moyong was upgraded from 10,000 litres to 50,000 litres per day. 44 dairy cooperative societies have been formed and bulk milk coolers have been distributed to each such societies. Road milk tankers having capacities of up to 5,000 litres have been introduced to facilitate the smooth transportation of milk. We are also starting a scheme for cattle ranches which will be first of its kind in the country. The first such ranch will be at Maumerang in southwest Khasi Hills. The Meghalaya Piggery Mission, with an investment of 220 crores, has been sanctioned by the NCDC. Under this mission, 300 pig breeding farms will be established, and in the first phase, about 100 cooperative societies will be selected to implement this mission. I am proposing a total development outlay of 60 crores for 2020-21 for the animal husbandry and dairy sector. Fisheries have been instrumental in providing direct livelihood opportunities to over 21,000 fish farmers in Meghalaya. We have redoubled the efforts to promote fisheries through the Meghalaya State Aquaculture Mission 2.0. Various activities are being taken up under the mission, including construction of sanctuaries, integrated farming projects, cold water fisheries, aqua parks, and piloting of innovative projects. I am proposing an outlay of 51 crores in 2020-21 for the fisheries sector. In the textile sector, the Muga mission was launched to capitalize on Meghalaya's strength in Muga with a proposed investment of 138 crores. The mission focuses on fully developing the Muga value chain and significantly improving the income of the Muga farmers in Garo Hills. In the handloom sector, the integrated textile tourism complex is being established at Riboy district. This will be developed as a center of excellence for Ahimsa silk and will promote silk and handloom tourism. I am proposing a development budget of 540 crores for the agriculture and allied sectors, including 241 crores from states' own resources. Infrastructure development. Moving on from the primary sector, I would now like to highlight some of the key achievements and plans for infrastructure development. I have already outlined the programs for development of social infrastructure. I will now elaborate on core economic infrastructure, which is essential for growth and prosperity. A dense network of good quality roads is important for our state. Given that a larger section of our population lives in the dispersed rural habitation, accordingly, this government has been making big efforts to improve the implementation of Government of India's flagship rural connectivity program, the Myntri Gram Sadak Yojana (PMGSY). In the last 2 years, a total length of 510 kilometers of roads have been completed under the program, compared to only 330 kilometers for a period of 2016 and 18. We got sanctions for 1,729 crores from 2018-20, a four-fold increase compared to the period of 2016-18. We are committed to complete the construction of 1,674 kilometers of ongoing rural roads in the next financial year. I am proposing an outlay of 400 crores for 2020-21 for the PMGSY program. Another program through which we are taking up construction of rural roads in the rural infrastructure is the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, the RIDF of NABARD. The annual normative allocation under RIDF has doubled to 200 crores since this government came to power. In the last 2 years, 69 rural road projects have been sanctioned under RIDF with a total cost of about 153 crores. Under the state plan, 423 kilometers of roads at a cost of 422 crores have been sanctioned in 2019-20. There is a good progress on the roads sanctioned under the Northeast Road Sector Development Scheme and the Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme of the Government of India. We are also implementing an externally aided project, the Meghalaya Integrated Transport Project, that focuses on upgradation and improvement of state highways, district roads, and roads connecting tourist spots. 7 major roads covering a length of about 180 kilometers are being taken up at an estimated cost of 368 crores in the phase 1 of the project. Additionally, 100 crores will be invested on tourism-specific roads in the next financial year. I am proposing an allocation of 220 crores for the Meghalaya Integrated Transport Project. Sir, one of the reasons for the poor quality of our road network is the absence of a systematic approach to maintenance based on sound asset management principles. Though funds are made available under revenue expenditure budget for maintenance of roads, a significant portion of that goes towards payment of wages to master rolls and attending to emergency works, leaving very little resource for periodic renewal of roads. To overcome these challenges and to make a fresh start, we are launching a new program for systematic periodic maintenance of roads with a budget provision of 50 crores for 2020-2021. I am also proposing to almost double the overall development budget for roads and bridges from 590 crores in 2019-20 to 1,084 crores in 2020-21. Water supply in both urban and rural areas is a key priority. We are making all-out efforts to increase our allocations under the Jal Shakti Ministry's flagship program, the Jal Jeevan Mission. We plan to dramatically improve the number of households with functional tap connections in the next financial year. In the current year, we have taken up 19 rural water supply schemes with an investment of 84 crores under RIDF of NABARD. Work on the Greater Sora water supply scheme and laying of the new feeder main for Tura Phase 1, Phase 2 water supply, taken up under the Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme, is progressing well. We are also keen on the completion of the ongoing water supply schemes like Greater Shillong Water Supply Project Phase 3, Greater Ampati Water Supply Scheme, and the Nongstoin Urban Water Supply Scheme, and on initiating new schemes in Greater Lightcore, Bakmara, Williamnagar, and Maudindyang. Accordingly, I am enhancing the state development budget for water supply to 193 crores from the previous allocation of 135 crores. Access to basic sanitation is essential for health and well-being. With the attainment of open defecation-free status, the state is now moving to ODF+, focusing primarily on sustainability and supporting villages on solid and liquid waste management. Under the Swachh Bharat Mission, Grameen, we have already implemented solid and liquid waste management project in 1,252 villages at an estimated cost of 96 crores. The solid waste management policy covering all urban areas in the state has also been notified. Sir, many initiatives have been taken up for the improvement of power infrastructure, such as construction of substations at Ampati, Kletrishi, Jintru, and Latsmith. Besides installation of 2 additional 5 MVA power station transformers at Nongstoin and Mairao, and the 132 kV single circuit line from Rongkon to Ampati. The biggest project in this sector is the ADB funded Meghalaya Power Sector Improvement Project with an outlay of 1,162 crores, on which work is to start very soon. We plan to install 1.8 lakh smart electricity meters under the project, learning from our experience of installing 4,543 prepaid meters. We are also strongly promoting renewable energy. Project is being initiated for putting up solar panels in various government buildings across the state at an approved cost of 15 crores. Air connectivity is the key to unlocking our growth potential in general and tourism potential in particular. Our sustained efforts have resulted in the operationalization of a daily Indigo flight from Kolkata to Umroi. It is now expected that 42 or a 72-seater flight will operate shortly to connect Shillong with Delhi. The expansion of the Umroi airport has been completed, and installation of instrument landing system and night landing facilities are at an advanced stage. Plans are underway for the extension of the runway at Baljek Airport also. Another significant achievement in the transport sector is the interstate bus terminal at Tura, which was inaugurated in September 2019, and the interstate bus terminus in Moyong, East Khasi Hills, which is in the completion stage. For the year 2020-21, new initiatives like construction of heliport at Umsauli, East Khasi Hills, the interstate truck terminus at Ribhoi, and setting up of Institute of Driving and Traffic Research will be taken up. A development allocation of 56 crores is being proposed for the transport sector in 2020-21. Improvement in urban infrastructure is an essential component of our growth strategy. Some of the important projects which are likely to be completed soon are the construction of Bishnupur Market at Laban, redevelopment of polo markets, and renovation and upgradation of Hawkers Market at Golf Links Shillong. We all know that Shillong is one of the smart cities under the Government of India's Smart City Mission. Projects for redevelopment of Laimukra Market and Polo Market, and setting up of an integrated command and control center and building of smart roads have been finalized under the mission. For 2020-2021, we will focus on beautification of our cities and towns through construction of iconic landmark and improving the overall cleanliness. Detailed plans for the completed redevelopment and beautification of Barik Point in Shillong with a cost of 350 crores are ready. I am allocating 10 crores specifically on intervention for beautification of Shillong and Tura town and for introduction of mechanized cleaning and waste collection system. I am proposing a total allocation of 199 crore for the urban development sector. Sir, we have a long international border, and increasing our trade with Bangladesh could be a key growth driver. Accordingly, we are focusing on the creation and strengthening of border infrastructure. Construction of 3 new border huts in Sipbari, South Garo Hills, Kilapara, Dalu, West Garo Hills, and at Huroi, East Jente Hills is ongoing. I recently visited Bangladesh along with a business and official delegation to explore the specific avenues for cooperation between Meghalaya and Bangladesh. The government is also aware of the infrastructure needs of the areas along the interstate border, which are partly being funded through the border area development programs. For 2020-2021, we will also come up with an infrastructure development package for these areas. Other landmark infrastructures being implemented include the first phase of the technology park at New Shillong at a cost of 35 crores, assembly building at a cost of 141 crores, Shillong International Center for Performing Arts and Culture at a cost of 151 crores, We intend to complete the project on time, and I am allocating 46 crores from the state's resources for these 3 key projects. I am proposing a development budget of 2,043 crores for the infrastructure sector, including 839 crore from the state's own resources. Promoting entrepreneurship. Sir, 75% of Meghalaya's population is below the age of 34, and 37% is in the age group of 15 to 34. Creation of jobs for thousands of youths who are joining the workforce annually is a massive challenge, and my government acknowledges that entrepreneurship and growth of small businesses is the way forward. We started the Entrepreneur of the Month Award as a first step to encourage entrepreneurs. In August 2019, we launched the Chief Minister's E-Champion Challenge to identify the top 100 enterprise ideas in the state. The first edition of the challenge, which began in September 2019, saw the participation of more than 700 applicants, of which 100 were shortlisted and felicitated at the first Meghalaya Entrepreneurship and Startup Summit held in January this year. The E-Championship Challenge will now be an annual event and provide the platform for identification of entrepreneurial talent from across the state. We also launched the state's flagship enterprise promotion program called PRIME, which stands for Promotion of Innovative and Market-Driven Enterprises. Under this program, PRIME hubs will be set up at different locations of the state as one-stop shops for all entrepreneurial-related services. The first Prime Hub was inaugurated at Shillong, and this vibrant space is being opened up to the entrepreneurs. For 2020-21, we will build and operationalize 15 Prime Hubs. I am proposing an allocation of 10 crores specifically for the Prime program and another 10 crores for strengthening the Meghalaya Institute of Entrepreneurship. Sir, this government realizes that the flow of credit is a necessary condition for entrepreneurship to flourish. We also know the challenges associated with accessing credit from the banks. Accordingly, I am announcing 3 programs that will ease the flow of credit into the system. The first is a first loss default guarantee program, which will provide comfort to the lending banks and non-banking financial institutions. Second is an incentive scheme for establishing additional brick and mortar banks and NDFC branches in the state. Under this, the state will reimburse a portion of the operational costs of new branches. The third program is the creation of a micro equity fund, which will directly invest in the businesses of entrepreneurs identified at the Prime Hub. All these 3 programs will be operationalized from April 2020, and I'm allocating 10 crores for their implementation. In addition to our own state-specific programs, we are also streamlining the implementation of the Government of India's entrepreneurship program, PMEGP. Through continuous coordination with banks, KVIC and other stakeholders, I am confident of our improved performance for this year. We also launched the Ease of Doing Business portal in November 2019 to foster investment in the state. Poverty alleviation programs. Sir, effective implementation of sustainable poverty alleviation programs is one of the cornerstones of the development strategy of the state. Meghalaya has been consistently amongst the top 3 performers in the country in the implementation of MGNREGS. In the current year, we have already spent over 1,000 crores and have been able to reach out to more than 4.5 lakh households in the state and have provided on an average more than 70 days of wages to them. The state's commitment to work for the poorest is evident from the fact that we have already utilized 102% of the allocated budget under the MGNREGS and ensured that over 87% of the payments are generated within the 15 days period. The National Rural Livelihood Mission NRLM has been expanded to all 46 blocks in the state. We have been able to reach out to around 2 lakh women and organized them in around 19,000 self-help groups across 3,750 villages. During 2019-20, a total of 8,216 self-help groups and 476 village organizations were formed. The program has dispersed funds to the tune of 68 crores to the self-help groups. The quantum of credit accessed from the banks stands at 30 crores. The bottom 20 scheme under MG NREGS is converging with NRLM to ensure that beneficiaries who are getting individual physical assets such as piggery sheds under MG NREGS are also getting working capital from NRLM to ensure a sustainable home yard enterprise. I am proposing an allocation of 105 crores for NRLM in 2020-21. Provision of Pakka houses to eligible rural households through the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Gramin PMAYG, is in convergence with the Chief Minister's Housing Assistance Program will continue to be a focus area until the dream of housing for all is achieved. The construction of over 11,329 houses under the scheme in 2018-19, a quantum jump from around 260 houses constructed in 17-18, is a testimony to the government's commitment to the economically weaker section. For 2020-2021, I am proposing an allocation of 109 crores for PMAYG and 20 crores for the Chief Minister's Affordable Housing Scheme. Sir, for the effective implementation of all the poverty elevation initiatives such as MG, NREGS, NRLM, PMAY, it is imperative that we have requisite administrative infrastructure in place. Accordingly, we will provide up to 2.5 crores each for blocks with critical infrastructural needs and 50 lakhs for renovation of all other block offices. I am proposing an initial allocation of 13.5 crores from the state's resources for this purpose. Our traditional institutions play a critical role in implementation of development programs, both through partnership with VECs and on their own. To strengthen the functioning of these important institutions, I am proposing an outlay of rupees 1 crore each for infrastructure creation for traditional institutions in the 3 regions of the state. Sir, as the elected representatives of the populace, the MLAs are the anchor of the developmental initiatives of the state in their respective constituencies. The Special Rural Works Program and the Special Urban Works Program have been able to address the felt public needs through the agency of their own elected representatives. To enable the MLAs to continue with the good work in every nook and corner of the state, I am proposing an enhancement in the allocation under these 2 schemes from 2 crores to 2.5 crores per MLA, thus taking the total allocation for SRWP to 136 crore and for SUWP to 14 crores for 2020-21. Building sustainable rural livelihoods. Meghalaya, like other Himalayan states, is in a fragile economic zone, and building sustainable climate-proof livelihoods is essential. We are implementing several sustainability-focused programs and projects. The Meghalaya Livelihood and Access to Market Projects, or the Meghalamp, is a part funded by the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD. Though the project started in 2014, there were multiple challenges in the first 4 years. However, in 2018, after our government took charge, we restructured the implementation and achieved rapid turnaround, putting the project back on track. Disbursement jumped from 4% in December 2018 to 23% as of today. Under the project, interventions for natural resource management have been taken up in 1,300 villages. 300 integrated village cooperatives have been formed, and 219 kilometers of rural roads have been constructed. For 2020-21, the project will work for building enterprises in all the 1,350 project villages and will pilot innovatives like smart farms. I am proposing a total allocation of 180 crores for the project, of which 30 crores will be from state's resources. Another important sustainability-focused project is the Community-Led Landscape Management Project, or CLEM, that was launched in 2018. Comprehensive community-led natural resource management activities are being taken up in 400 of the most degraded landscapes in the state. I am proposing a total allocation of 90 crores for the project, of which 10 crores will be from state's resources. Other projects in the pipeline include the JICA-funded project for community-based forest management and livelihood improvement and the KFW-funded Protection of Vulnerable Catchment Areas project. Social security and welfare. Sir, as already mentioned in the introduction, we have streamlined the implementation of the Chief Minister's Social Assistance Program by releasing the sanctioned pending pensions from 2017-18 and through ensuring that all the 1.08 lakh beneficiaries receive their pensions in the first week of every month. Benefit under the Government of India's National Social Assistance Program are also being implemented through DBT mode from September 2019. For 2020-21, I want to streamline the process of disbursement of payments to ASHA and Anganwadi workers and wages to our workforces of master roll and the work charge employees. We want to ensure that they also receive their entitlement in the first week of every month directly into their bank accounts. I am also pleased to announce that the minimum wages have been revised to 324, 368, 411 and 544 per day for unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled and highly skilled categories of workers, respectively from 1st October 2019. Sir, in May 2019, the Meghalaya state policy for empowerment of persons with disability was approved to promote, protect, and ensure the full realization of all rights and fundamental freedom of persons with disability. So far, 4,867 beneficiaries have benefited under the scheme Assistance to Disabled Persons. Protection of women from all forms of abuse is a core objective of the government. For 2020-2021, I'm allocating an amount of 5 crores for construction and strengthening of shelter homes for women affected with domestic violence in different districts of the state. Another important social welfare program is the construction and improvement of rehabilitation centers for drug users. I'm allocating 5 crores from state's resources for these centers at Shillong, Jowai, and Nongstoin. Improving the efficiency of the public distribution system is another priority for this government. Accordingly, I'm proposing an allocation of 30 crores in 2020-21 for fair price shop automation. This technology intervention will eliminate leakages and ensure that food, grains, and other entitlements reach the poor in every nook and corner of the state. Tourism and art and culture. Tourism is one of the most important growth engines of our state, for our state. The sector is also an important job generator. If the state has to grow at rates higher than the national average, tourism sector must grow exponentially. Today, the sector's contribution to the state's GDP is only around 3%. Our goal is to increase this to 15% in the next 5 years. Our strategy is to make Meghalaya a high-value tourism destination through responsible and sustainable tourism. The goal is to have the least impact on the environment and the optimal economic benefit for the communities. To take forward this agenda, we have started the process of making master plans for the key tourist sites, including Umiam Lake in Riboy, Mokurwat and Jakrem in southwest Khasi Hills, Nokrek National Park in West Garo Hills, Balpakram National Park in South Garo Hills, Resubel Para in North Garo Hills, Ungot River Front in West Jente Hills, Sora in East Khasi Hills, and other regions of the state. New interventions at these sites will begin only after these master plans are approved. The funds for infrastructure creation will be made available through the newly sanctioned New Development Bank Fund, funded externally aided project on experiential ecotourism. The project is being designed for benefits to flow directly to the communities. Tourism cooperatives and societies will be formed in the project villages so that the entire community is involved. I am proposing a total allocation of 110 crores for the project, of which 10 crores will be from state's resources. In addition to master planning of various sites, we have also completed the feasibility studies for setting up of tourism ropeways in 3 locations: Umiam Lake, Shillong Peak, and Tura Town. We are exploring the various funding mechanisms for these iconic projects, including public-private partnerships. We will also continue to implement state schemes and Government of India schemes like Swadesh Darshan and Prasad. Recently, the Ministry of Tourism has approved 30 crores under Prasad scheme. The state was recently ranked as the 4th best performer in the implementation of Swadesh Darshan scheme. Given the importance of tourism sector, I am proposing an enhancement of the state's development budget from 36 crores in 2019-20 to 50 crores in 2020-21. This enhanced allocation will be utilized for rolling out 3 new state schemes. The first is the organization of high-impact tourism events like the recently concluded Meghalaya Age program. These events will be held across the state and will be made calendar events. The second scheme is for the construction of aesthetically designed and well-managed wayside amenities across the state. The third scheme is a support to entrepreneurs for purchase of tourist taxis and for other tourism interventions. All these schemes will be rolled out from next month and will go a long way in promoting our mission of encouraging high-value, responsible tourism. Promotion of the vibrant art and rich culture of our state is a key focus. We plan to upgrade the Captain Williamson Sangma State Museum, Shillong, to a state-of-the-art facility with support from the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. Funds for construction of the Tribal Research Institute at Babadam, West Garo Hills have been released by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and the construction will begin soon. Empowering the youth, skill development and sports. Sir, as mentioned before, we are a very young state and concerted efforts are being made to empower the youth of the state. Skilling the youth is an urgent priority. The ADB funded project has an important component on skills. Under the project, 10,828 youth were trained in various skills in 2019-20. As 2020-2021 is the last year of the project, I am proposing a total allocation of 240 crores, of which 40 crores will be from state's resources. A unique soft skill and well-being enhanced program called Aspire Meghalaya was implemented in 2019-20 with funding support from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Impressed by the success of the program, the ministry has sanctioned the second phase, which will be implemented in 2020-21 at a cost of 5 crores. Skill training is also being provided under Government of India scheme like the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana and the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. About 5,000 youths were trained under both these programs in the last year. So sports is another area to empower the youth and move them forward and move them towards excellence. This year, this sector attains greater importance in our state given the large pool of sporting talent. We approved the sports policy in June 2019 to provide a comprehensive framework for the development of sports and sports persons. I am instituting an award for recognizing one sports person every year starting April 2020. We are also aware that Meghalaya has been selected as a host for the prestigious 39th National Games in 2022 to coincide with 50 years of the statehood. I want to assure the citizens of the state and the country to this August House that Meghalaya is well prepared to host this mega sporting event. Over the last 6 months, several preparatory activities like finalization of the games venue, procurement of consultants, finalization of stadia design, mobilization of funds for infrastructure creation, consultation with the state and national Olympic associations have been done. We have conducted the Meghalaya Games after a gap of 16 years as part of our team preparation plan. I have recently unveiled the design for the PS Sangma Integrated Sports Complex at Tura. This complex will be constructed at a cost of 125 crores with funding support from the Ministry of Minority Affairs, Government of India. The design for the comprehensive renovation of JN Stadium and the construction of a state-of-the-art multi-level indoor stadium in the 5th ground at Polo, Shillong, are being finalized, and this project will be funded mostly from state's resources. Accordingly, I am proposing a development budget of 280 crores, including 125 crores from the state's resources, focusing on sustainability at all levels. Sir, though I have already spoken about sustainability at different points during this address, I am still dedicating one section exclusively for sustainability, given its primacy for Meghalaya. We have a forest cover of about 76%, and there is an urgent need to protect our forest, land, and water resources. This government is acutely aware of the need for sustainable use of water resources. Meghalaya became the first state in the country to adopt a water policy in July 2019 to comprehensively address the issues of conservation and protection of water resources. About 50% of the MGNREGS expenditure, equivalent to about 500 crores, was spent on natural resources and water-related interventions in 2019-20. In 2018, the state launched Meghalaya's One Citizen, One Trip campaign with the aim of encouraging every citizen of the state to plant and adopt a tree. Last year, through a concerted effort of government and communities, we planted more than 1 million trees under the campaign on World Environment Day. This initiative will continue in 2020-21, and another important initiative is the inventorization and mapping works of all the 306 spring sheds under the National Adaptation Fund for Climate Change. We are also committed to restoring the environment damaged by coal mining in the state. Accordingly, an action plan is being prepared and pilot projects have commenced for the environmental restoration and treatment of acid mine drainage. The state government has also notified guidelines for utilization of Meghalaya Environment Protection and Restoration Fund. The District Mineral Foundation has been notified in each district to minimize or mitigate adverse effects of mining on environment, health, and for implementing various developmental and welfare programs in mining-affected areas. Recently, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has released camper funds of 163 crores for taking up afforestation works in the state. Other small but significant interventions focusing on sustainability include installation of LED lights in the entire secretariat, and in 2020-21, we plan to install LED lights, water harvesting structures, and renewable power generation systems in many government buildings. District councils. The 14th Finance Commission did not provide any direct grant in aid for the district councils. Sir, I am happy to announce that the 15th Finance Commission has recommended grants to rural local bodies to the tune of 182 crores. These funds, in addition to the usual grants received from Government of India, will help to strengthen these institutions. Improving overall governance. Sir, one of the fundamental principles of a good governance is that the executive, both political and bureaucratic, should have their ears to the ground. To achieve this, we started having cabinet meetings outside Shillong. Cabinet meetings were held at Tura and Jowai during 2019-20. Similarly, I have institutionalized the monthly review meetings with deputy commissioners, and this has significantly improved the implementation of key programs. For 2020-2021, we will use data analytics and dashboards to effectively monitor the progress on various schemes and programs. We are also implementing the Meghalaya Enterprise Architecture, which will ensure a holistic transformation of services in the state through a common e-platform, thereby providing efficient, proactive, and seamless service delivery experience for various departments, citizens, and businesses in the state. This project is being piloted in the Finance Department, and we expect a complete process re-engineering in 2021. The e-office project, initiated in the CM Secretariat last year, is now being partially implemented in a few more departments. We expect to expand this program across the Secretariat from 2020-21. The government continues to invest in capacity building of government officials to improve systematic efficiencies and service delivery. Best of the class infrastructure for conduct of such training has been created through the inauguration of the new Meghalaya Administrative Training Institute building at Maudindiang, Shillong, and the Meghalaya Police Academy in Umran, Ribhoi. The government also wants to deploy technology and innovative solutions to solve local problems for improving governance and service delivery. To support us in this endeavor, we have signed an MOU with University of California, Berkeley, to start the Smart Village movement in 100 villages across the state. For 2020-21, I'm proposing a development budget of 5 crore for this project. Budget estimates 2020-21. Sir, for 2020-21, I have estimated the total receipts at 17,375 crores, of which revenue receipts are estimated at 15,353 crores and capital receipts at 2,022 crores. Excluding borrowings of 1,995 crores, the total receipts are estimated to be 15,380 crores. On the expenditure side, I have estimated the total expenditure at 17,432 crores, of which the revenue expenditure is estimated at 14,428 crores and capital expenditure at 3,004 crores. Excluding repayment of loans of 520 crores, the estimated total expenditure is 16,912 crores. Interest payments for 2020-21 is estimated at 843 crores and pension payments at 12,008 crores. I am therefore presenting a budget of 2020-21 with a fiscal deficit of 1,532 crores, which is around 3.53% of the GSDP. Sir, the most pressing concerns before us today is to contain the spread of the COVID-19 cases, of which have been detected in many states of the country. Before concluding my address, I want to assure this August House and the citizens of the state that the government is taking all possible measures in accordance with the advisories of the Government of India. We are also committed to take any further measures that may be necessary to effectively deal with this problem in our state. I request the support and cooperation of all sections of the society so that collectively we can overcome this challenge. In conclusion, I want to reiterate that the year 2020-21 will be a new beginning for us, and my government will make every effort to build a prosperous, innovative, caring, and knowledge-driven Meghalaya. Sir, along with the budget, I am presenting the vote on account for the proposed expenditure during the first 3 months for 2020-21. Mr. Speaker, sir, with these few words, I commend the budget to this August House. Kublai, Matela, Jai Hind.